What's he doing?
Why are you pulling it closer?
No, don't do it. Now I have to be louder.
No, dude. Why?
Hello.
You can't do this. You can't fucking do this.
Hello. And welcome
No, this won't work. I mean, you can.
I'm
but
gonna move it
No,
back.
please don't.
I'm gonna move it back.
When?
As soon as I do this intro.
No, you're not going to do the whole intro like this.
Yes, I am.
People can't fucking hear you.
Yes, they can.
I don't wear microphones when I listen to our podcast, and I can't hear you when you do this shit.
They can hear just fine.
I play it really loud across the room, and I can't hear like low things.
It's not low because I'm talking right into the microphone. It's actually a normal volume. It's on par with the normal volume of speech from a normal distance.
This is pond far enough.
This is ASMR.
Good fucking God. What the fuck was that?
ASMR.
You can't just lick your lips.
Poor Chris.
Chris is gonna
Angels
cut
and
most
ministers
of
of grace defend us.
All right, let me do the intro.
No.
Hello, and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast.
I feel really
This
uncomfortable.
is episode 162.
Woo!
I thought last episode was 162.
No, last was 161.
Are you sure?
My name
Because the one
is
before that
Jake.
was 160.
and I am joined by
Oh, good God.
Chris.
It's Ames. Caitlin.
Stop it.
Today, we will be discussing 2 episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the first of which is Whispers.
That's why he did that.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
I also hate
The
it.
second of which
I hate this too.
is Paradise. Okay, so we'll talk about these. Whispers. O'Brien's having a rough time.
He usually does. Have you seen his life?
So he's on his way back to the station after having done some meeting with a species called the Paratus.
No, he's just left the station.
No, he's on his way back to the station.
No, he's fleeing. They start in Tabula Rasa.
Oh,
It's a
okay,
framing
yeah.
device.
I see. Yeah, you're right.
They added the framing device because
Thank you for the
episode
correction.
was
So,
short.
all right, yeah, we open in dramatic fashion with O'Brien having left the station. Apparently, shit's gone wrong, and he's being evidently pursued by other people in runabouts. And then he starts, through a log entry, he starts to give us the backstory. In the backstory, he has just arrived back to the station from visiting this planet to see the Paradas, who are having some kind of a peace talk on the station, and he has to make these like really crazy security precautions. And right off the bat, things aren't going so well. Everyone's treating him kind of weird, being, like kind of eerily nice and accommodating, but not in a good way.
Yeah. Bit pod people.
Yeah, a bit pod people. O'Brien's very suspicious. He gets, for example, he gets home to see Keiko, and she's very cold to him, which doesn't set him off immediately because that's just how it goes.
Molly refuses to hug him. He's like, yeah, that's about right. Because I'm not her dad.
But
Oh,
what really
shit.
tips him off that something's not right is Keiko is really nice and makes him his favorite dinner,
Which
he is certain is poisoned.
and she won't eat it either.
And
She's
she
like,
won't
I'm
eat
gonna
it.
eat this salad.
So anyway, O'Brien starts going about trying to figure out what's going on. He finds out that he's been locked out of certain systems and things like that. But eventually, Odo's been off the station doing something somewhere, and he shows up, and O'Brien goes to him like, listen, Odo, I need you to find out what's going on here. Everyone's really, something fucky's going on. And Odo's like, I'll look into it. So Odo looks into it, and then he also becomes a pod person. O'Brien, meanwhile, is like, I might have to get out of here. So he plots this whole escape thing, and he has a little, a flashbang that he uses to escape from Odo's office. And,
Oh, that kind of flashbang.
That was cool. I actually really liked that.
yeah, and he manages to make off in a roundabout. He heads. So then that brings us back to present day, where he's on his way back to Paradas because he thinks something must have happened while I was there that maybe they know something.
He also thinks that someone's going to make an attempt on these peace
Well,
talks.
yeah, his whole premise is someone
There's probably terrorists.
The rebels have brainwashed everybody to be against me. So he gets there, finds that he's been beaten there by, or he actually has to hide. There's this hide and seek thing going on. Anyway, the others, the people chasing him, which turns out to be Sisko and company, they get there first. He beams down. He thinks he's going to get the jump on him, and then he gets shot and killed.
Whoops. Sorry, Miles.
But it's okay, because he wasn't the real Miles after all. The real Miles had been kidnapped and was imprisoned by the rebels?
No, the government.
By the government as...
What a weird fucking place.
And
suddenly these rebels, might have a point.
I guess the plan was basically that, they basically pull a Geordie LaForge here. And
Manchurian candidate thing?
Yeah, a sleeper thing where at the appropriate time, fake Miles... his programming would activate and he would kill somebody at the peace talks.
Like you do.
But apparently everybody knew about it, so...
it fell apart.
Basically immediately. Before he even got back.
What about her? Tell her I love cake.
Tell her the stew sucked.
Real Miles there. He's like, oh yeah, I do love cake. It's fucking delicious.
Why did Keiko go out of her way to make the Miles' favorite meal for his doppelganger?
So he wouldn't go crazy and kill her?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it must be
That's
so
why
weird.
I would have done it.
The thing is, Keiko, or somewhere, we didn't see, because we only see this through replicant O'Brien's eyes, because otherwise, the ruse would be foiled immediately. So we have to follow Miles around the entire episode, which apparently was a bitch to write and shoot for. But, obviously, at some point, they people on the station figured out, we don't think this is actually Miles. This is weird, but we have to act like he's Miles so that he doesn't catch on. Keiko, he's going to have to keep living with you. Good luck. That would super, super suck for Keiko.
Well, especially for the kid, too. She's got a kid at home.
Oh, yeah, and she's like, I'm going to take Molly. Take Molly to school early. It's 5:40 in the morning. Yep, we're leaving now, bye.
Yep, goodbye.
So there's something I don't understand.
Just one thing?
Why do they have to pretend that it's actually Miles?
Yeah,
if they already know he's a doppelganger?
Well, the implication...
I would knock him out.
I think part of it was that they weren't 100% sure. That was part of the reason Julian was it took so long on his physical. Because they were trying to find some proof, because at that point all they had was...
He's acting funny.
Some intelligence from the rebels saying, we're pretty sure he was kidnapped. Which in and of itself could have been a ruse from the rebels for all they knew.
Why was Julian so interested in fake Miles' sex life and balls?
What about his balls?
He totally gave him a prostate check at one point.
Well,
not a prostate
maybe he
check.
wanted to see if they were
hernia check.
Yeah, well, yeah, he did. I mean, he had him cough twice for the hernia check.
Yeah, and his hand went off.
If you're not male, you might not know this.
Yeah,
I'm familiar with the prostate check. Yes.
No, not the prostate check.
I mean the hernia. I'm familiar with the hernia check.
It's not
traumatic.
No, it's just weird.
You turn your head, you cough. It's notoriously uncomfortable.
Yeah, but they cup your bits.
I don't need this.
Okay, bye.
I will leave. So yeah, why not just knock him out then?
I don't know.
Because even if he is the real one, he's just you know how Julian is. He just sometimes knocks you out.
Oh, well, maybe
so he can fuck your wife.
So that so here's maybe how it could be.
It's most certainly Julian is fucking Keiko.
For sure. I was playing a surprised O'Brien.
In theory, even if you believe the rebels, you have to act like you don't know. So if you suddenly detain Miles, the government finds out, and they know they've been rumbled, and maybe they kill the real Miles.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, that was the implication at the end. It's we hadn't recovered the real Miles.
Yeah.
Yet. But at the same time, I'm like...
Why didn't they just kill him to begin with?
Yeah, why did they kill him to begin with? And
because he's a main character.
Well, yeah. Well, how interesting would it have been, though, if they had killed real Miles, and they had to...
carry on with
deprogram fake Miles.
That's interesting.
From whatever his
That's
secret
really
mission
interesting.
was. But we don't know though. We don't really know what fake Miles was. Was he a clone?
He was a replicant, they called it, because clone. I read about this. They said clone isn't quite right, and it has connotations that weren't fitting for what he was. And they specifically didn't want to call him an android because we already met an android who we all know and love.
So instead, they just took a word directly from Blade Runner.
They did.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's interesting. Did they have any legal problems because of that?
No, it's a word.
So is it mechanical or is it biological?
I think they're biological.
I mean, it has to be, right? Because he passed the physical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, don't ask me how it's done.
They put him through the replicator.
Well, there was the guy. Remember, there was the guy from season 1. I can't remember the episode.
Oh, with his Instaclone.
With his Instaclone.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Was it
guy.
like
Yeah.
that guy?
Yeah, no, it's that thing. It's some other category apparently.
Yeah. I mean, that's technology we've already seen on the show. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that these aliens had the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The device I really, really like, though. Like, just watching the point of view of the episode, like, going around with Miles being, like, curious about why everyone's acting funny around him, when really he's the one that's acting funny, but you don't know it because Cole Meany's just acting like his normal character.
Yeah.
Because that's what you'd have to do, otherwise the episode wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So it's really an interesting foil for the episode.
So another question I'd have is, how many people on the station knew about this? Obviously, all the senior staff.
Jake didn't know right away.
Jake didn't
but was
know.
eventually told clearly.
Well, I think Jake was probably told by, like, if you see Miles, call me.
Yeah. Because at first they were just chumming around working on subspace transceivers.
I mean, Odo obviously didn't know until he got back.
I think Odo knew, but Odo is the best actor because he is like a detective type.
I think he got filled in. Like, I don't think he knew when he was off the station.
He got filled in after he got back.
Yeah.
Well, and he was a good red herring because we had him and wasn't it Julian paired up when the last weird shit's happening on the. Or no, because Odo was the only one who wasn't fucked up that time.
Oh, and Dramatis Personae.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I really thought Odo was on his side, and then he wasn't, and I was like, uh-oh. And as far as Jake, I thought Jake, like, just hadn't been taken over yet. You know what I mean? Like, I thought they just hadn't got to him yet for some reason.
Yeah, I'm curious, like, what you thought of it, because, you know, I've seen this one before, and therefore don't remember my first impression of it. And also, I read the synopsis first before watching it, so knew the twist.
And what a twist.
And it's a good twist.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming, and I really, really, really liked how they built the tension. And, like, because it felt, I don't know, like, watching it felt like, oh, shit, they're, like, closing in on him. Oh, no, they're going to get him. He knows.
It's a little
they
the
know
game,
that he
isn't
knows.
It
Which
was
one was
the
the game again?
That's one where they had the little orgasm device, and everybody fell into the spell of it.
Yeah,
And they
that's
really wanted
true.
Wesley to use it.
I guess I didn't think of it that way, but you're right.
I thought it
like
reminded
that.
me a lot,
Ooh,
which is
hi,
interesting because it
Kitty.
was also an O'Brien episode, but it reminded me a lot of Power Play, where, like, everyone's just acting different.
Yeah.
Yeah, they likened it to, like, a invasion of the body snatchers from the point of view of a body snatcher. I also read a couple different other parallels. There's a Philip K. Dick story called Imposter, which is also a movie, which I think has, I want to say, Gary Sinise. I wasn't able to watch that one, but it sounds really good. It sounds a lot like this episode. But I did watch this week, and I regret it. God damn it, I always pick the bad one to watch. I watched a movie called The Parallax View, which is a Warren Beatty movie from 1974, which is about kind of a government conspiracy kind of a thing that this guy kind of falls into. And there's a long scene that looks a little like a Clockwork Orange where he tries to join this assassin crew, and they make him watch all this like news reel, this clip reel of images and shit. And it was very confusing. There was a chimpanzee that played Pong, though.
No, thank you.
That was the highlight of this boring,
like
awful
chimpanzees?
movie.
I fucking hate monkeys.
So the thing
Me
is,
too.
what I will
I
say,
love Pong.
Especially chimpanzees, because they'll rip your face and your hands off.
what I will say, I once picked up a book of like it was previously unpublished Philip K. Dick short stories.
There's a reason they were unpublished, isn't there?
Fuck yes.
Yikes.
First of all, one of them was just atrocious. And basically the main thesis was abortion only exists because women want to kill babies men would never want to.
Oh, what I do want to.
But then every other story was literally just, can you know that you are you and what is reality and perception? And after like the third one, you're like, Phil, write about something else, you fuck.
You know what's interesting? A friend of mine, I mean, not too recently now, but several years ago, undertook an effort to read, like, the sci-fi canon. You know, all, like, the old school. I think he read a lot of Dick. He read, you know, Asimov. I can't remember what he read.
Bradbury?
I think he read Bradbury. Like, the I think it's called the Ringworld series. I don't know who wrote it.
Oh,
Ringworld. No, I have heard of that.
we talked about that when we talked about the Dyson Sphere, I think.
Niven?
Yes,
be,
Larry
yeah.
Niven.
But anyway, he read a bunch of different ones, and the constant theme is that, man, a lot of these, like, sci-fi canon authors are sexist as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. The abortion thing doesn't shock me.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wouldn't, but it's like, I cannot stress how... Like, again, you brace yourself for a certain amount of old-timey sexism, but this was just another level of absurd. I was like, wow, you really hated women. Like, even for your time, you were a special kind of hater. You fucking psycho. Anyway, Star Trek.
Anyway, speaking of hating women, Keiko and Molly. The original story idea for this episode was, okay, what if O'Brien wakes up to find Keiko and Molly are gone? Celebration! But is it? And no one on the station remembers him. But they learn that there is a Chief O'Brien on the Enterprise D. And they're like, keep working with that. And it turned into this.
Okay.
Wonder how that original one would have worked.
No idea.
Speaking of Molly, though, so did Keiko be like, hey, listen, when Daddy gets home, just know that it's not Daddy.
Yeah.
That Daddy has been replaced by a monster. And treat him like shit. Or does...
Molly just always treats him like shit, I think.
No, because he was surprised he wasn't getting his morning hug.
Yeah, like clearly someone told either that or Molly has a sixth sense.
She's like a dog. Yeah, she can tell.
She knows. She can
Yikes.
tell.
They probably should have just been like, Keiko, we're going to put you in different quarters and tell Miles you were called away to Bajor suddenly. Because she was a terrible liar. Her daughter was worse. Like, half the reason he knew something was up was because she was, like, just so bad at lying.
They interestingly made it a point, this relates to last week's episode, they make it a point that he continuously orders coffee.
Yeah.
Like, how many fucking times...
How did Keiko not know that he drinks coffee after noon?
He orders it all the fucking time.
One of my notes...
Jamaican style.
Yep.
Oh,
Jamaican blend, double strong, double sweet.
Yeah.
One of my notes was...
How many coffees did he have this episode? Because I swear it's like
drank
5.
Ractaginos on Deep Space.
My first note is, what time is it, Miles? When are you having your coffee? And then later I had a note, so much coffee, I'm getting sympathy poops.
I think it was just
Yikes, I'm sorry,
I think what it was
Chris.
is the writers, after they finished writing last week's episode, they're like, okay, now we really need to drive the point home that Keiko knows nothing about her husband by just showing how much coffee he drinks.
So much coffee, especially at night.
Like, but I think it should have just gotten more and more ridiculous. Like, they should have had
the first one was huge.
Well, they're
I
all
thought the
huge,
first
yeah.
No, but like the first one was especially large. It came in a big
It was
mug.
like an Ajit Pie
Well,
style
the
mug.
The next time it came in like a normal saucer and cup, but this one was like
That's the thing, it should have, like, every time you saw him, it should be in bigger and bigger. Until, like, by the end, he's literally just hooked up to a fucking IV that says Folgers. Jamaican blend.
He's got a 7-Eleven big gulp motherfucker, and it's just filled to the brim with coffee.
Oh, I had a good joke about Keiko's cover story as she's talking about all this stuff. I just proclaim as proudly as I can, the Keiko is a lie!
Oh,
Ah,
no.
that's good. I like that. I like that, Ames.
Yeah, I don't think Quark was aware.
Yeah, no, that's right, because he was just concerned about the racquetball
game.
match,
Yeah.
the rematch.
I'm glad they did a callback.
Yeah, so am I. That was pretty good. So yes, Quark didn't know, because Quark, you can't tell Quark things.
Yeah.
At all.
He would have, like, put bets on how long it will take fake O'Brien to get found out or something.
Yeah, and then he'd break it to him once his time was about to come up.
Yeah.
There was way too much discussion of his sex life in this episode.
There's been a little talk about Miles' sex life in general.
But this one is... there's like, I'll keep you warm, or whatever, when he's, like, trying to get her in the mood. And it's like, that was gross.
No.
And then later he's, like, talking about how they're reading his things. Like, I hope they enjoyed all the sexy letters to me wife.
Oh, man.
And it's like, I don't need to think, what? No. Stay away from me, James Joyce.
Okay, I'm really glad you said that, because remember when we were talking online and I was like, I'm going to try to write something about this.
Yeah, you said you might have an idea.
So what I did, and what I really
It was
wanted
gonna
to
be
do
farts.
was, I wanted to write his love letters to Keiko, which I never actually
There's still
did.
time.
Oh my God.
But what I was going to do, well, no, because I'm going to tell you now, because you
You're
mentioned
warmer
James
than
Joyce.
a potato.
I was going to start off by being like, oh my God, wait, I have to remember. Roses are red, I'm full of farts. I love you like I love playing darts. Like, that was going to be like... But then, slowly, we were going to devolve into, like, James Joyce's love letters to Nora. That was my big plan.
So what did James Joyce write about?
He
I know
She loved smelling his
yeah,
wife's
he
farts.
had no, they weren't married. But yeah, he had
Whatever.
a major scat fetish.
Yeah, no, like
That's upsetting.
you
It
can
is,
buy
yes.
you can buy books of, like, Joyce's letters to this woman Nora.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do is they usually edit
Take
out
those ones out.
Farts?
those ones.
Where
But
do you get those ones?
they're
guys?
online.
Okay, good.
But I think
what's the website?
I don't know.
just
But if you
Google
go
it,
to
yeah.
Hark a Vagrant, they did a comic strip about this, about James Joyce's horrifying fart and shit filled love letters.
Jake, I think you found your soulmate here.
My muse.
Nora's probably been dead for ages.
So yeah, what we're
Sorry,
saying
bud.
is, if you do want to Google Joyce's letters to
No, I meant
Nora,
James Joyce.
don't do it at work, and make sure safe search is off, or you're not going to find
We're
them.
putting this all on Joyce. For all we know, he wasn't into it, but he was just trying to
Turn on
maybe
his
she was
lady
into
friend.
it.
Maybe she just had really great
Here's
farts.
the thing. I'm sure she was really definitely into it.
Well,
but
if she didn't get a restraining order on him, then sure.
talks about liking her little lady farts and liking her to stain her underwear just a little bit and shit. It's really gross.
No,
All of this is 100% real.
No,
It's true. Yeah, this is all real
But
stuff. And it's
because I'm sure she has to
hysterical.
wash it.
She probably had servants. She was probably well-to-do.
Do you think
well,
so?
There you go.
I mean...
I'd hate to be her fucking servant
Me too.
washing out her shit-stained pants.
Anyway, that's James Joyce Pooh Corner.
I'm sorry we went here.
There's a great
Well,
Hark a Vagrant about it.
I was gonna take us even
Share it on the
further into
Facebook.
there. That was
Yeah.
my plan. But anyway, so much
Yeah,
for
that's
plans.
good. The other thing about the O'Briens is I feel like every time we see the two of them together, they're always at dinner or eating something or it's just so domestic.
Or O'Brien's
Yeah.
trying to fuck her.
failing miserably
I find it
because she just
interesting
got back from Bashir.
That even in the future, when it's you literally just ask the computer to make you something, it's still the wife's domestic responsibility.
Yeah,
to cook meals.
that's a blind spot.
Yeah, and also do the dishes even when it means just putting them back
In the replicator.
Yeah, to be broken down to become other dishes.
Well, let's be fair. We don't know. That could be her preference,
It could be.
or it could be, or it could be a cultural thing. We don't know. We don't know the story. I mean,
True.
I think it's just the writers being old-fashioned.
yeah, probably. But let me have my dreams.
No.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Did anyone notice that Jake seemed to be chatting up a pack lead when
I
he was
did.
waiting for Miles?
I noticed actually because they're talking about his grades and I think
Big dum-dum.
Cisco made an excuse about why he was talking to Keiko. It was like, oh yeah, Jake's worried about his grades. That's what it is. Totally, you're not a pod person. And then
Why? Who said pod? What do you mean? Oh.
and then they say, oh, I see what Jake's problem with his grades now. He's getting all his answers from the Packlets.
Yeah, Jesus. It does almost look like he got that transceiver. I mean, he says he replicated it, but I think he bought it off the pack lead. Oh, see, that's funny.
What?
I had made a joke in my notes,
Keiko
not
was a lie.
knowing where we were going with this, where Miles was like, "Oh, what you doing up so early? You farted me awake again."
This is definitely it. This is
Why
what
are there
it
so
is.
many farts this
I
episode?
don't know.
I mean, O'Brien.
Another note I
It's got
had, which
something to do
you
with
might
O'Brien.
enjoy, was he the opening of the episode is him going like, "Oh, when was the first time things were wrong?" And I half expected him to go, "Day I was born, all downhill from there."
Yep, basically. His goddamn life. Now, Caitlin, at the end of the episode when there's 2 Miles running around, tell me you wanted them to touch dicks.
I mean, I'm not that big on O'Brien sometimes,
all right.
so I'd rather not. But
He's got small face syndrome.
He does.
That's a shame.
Where he's got a very round head, but but his features are kind of
Thank
small
God.
and clustered toward the center.
it's Jake shames an actor for their bad looks corner. Thank
Only
God.
the face. I only judge the face.
Yeah, to be fair, that's way better. I only judge them by the most obvious center of attention part of their body.
I'm not body shaming.
beyond
I'm
their
face shaming.
tits. All right, fine, fair enough.
Wow.
I mean, being fair, Jake is not the first person to know this. A lot of caricatures of Chief O'Brien do often feature him with a.
I mean, don't get me
Small
started on
face.
Allison Pill in the new Picard series. Whew.
Who's that?
She's got small face syndrome. Like, whoa.
Which one was
who is
Allison
that?
Pill?
She was the scientist that he meets at the Daystrom Institute.
Oh, the blonde chick?
Yes.
She played Agnes?
Yes.
I didn't notice her face seeming.
She looked fine
small.
to me.
She's got a small face.
Does she?
Oh,
Yeah,
I
she
like
was really
her.
cute.
She's Canadian pretty.
Say she's Canadian pretty?
That's
Yeah.
what I heard him say.
Yeah, it's a thing.
What the fuck is...
It's a real thing.
Canadians are hot.
A
Fuck
Canadian told it to me, so I know it's real.
Okay. Anyway, back to this episode.
you. You've
Oh,
seen Patrice
weird.
Bergeron?
She was in the
Fucking
newsroom,
hot.
too. She was in Scott Pilgrim, the movie.
Oh,
She was the drummer.
sure. She looks fine. What's wrong with you?
She's very attractive. She's got a small face.
prettier than Miles.
There's
Jesus
a thing.
Christ.
Okay, here's the thing. You can be like, this is the features someone has, and still be like, they're still attractive. She's very attractive with her small face.
Oh, yeah. So, A note I'd had, but then the episode beat me to it. I was like, what if this is all just about them, like, planning a surprise party for Miles? And then he's like, oh god, are they planning a fucking surprise party for me? I'm like, well, that's not what it is then.
It would have been fucking hate surprise parties.
It would have been kind of funny if, after all that is what it was, though.
If there was a surprise
like, they
party.
almost caused an intergalactic incident.
Because they were like, no, all you need to understand is inside this door. And I was like, yeah? Is it a banner that says Happy Birthday, Miles? Are they going to open it and they're going to have like a fucking one of those Happy Birthday!
No, he gets shot to death instead.
The cards
Worst
there.
birthday ever.
Yeah, that was...
His birthday's not till September.
Data made him a painting.
September!
On one hand, it's convenient, like, we don't have to deal with the fallout of fake Miles because he got killed, but at the same time, it's kind of sad because, like, it was Miles.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, like... It was fake Miles, but it wasn't, like, a robot. It was not a robot without emotion. It was not what you see. He was here to help you with your problems so they could be free.
He thought he was saving the day.
What is that?
I am the modern man who hides behind the mask.
What? What the fuck are you talking about?
So no one else can see?
I don't know what you're talking
My
about.
true identity? I'm Kilroy?
I assume it's a song.
Kilroy. Oh my god, you guys really don't know?
No, who's the artist?
Domo arigato, Mr. Robot.
Oh.
Domo.
I really don't know.
There are other lyrics to that
Yeah,
song.
like that's...
Yes, there are many lyrics to that song.
Well, that's what you get for knowing lyrics to a song that anyone only knows the chorus of.
I mean, he's not wrong.
It's a very famous song.
Yeah, for that chorus. Next, you're gonna tell me that. Oh fuck, I can't even.
If you want to see something that's very politically incorrect, go watch the video for it.
Ooh, I would rather not.
Great.
Anyway,
so this was just Miles, as you said. So I mean, they didn't program anything into him extra except the kill command that we never see.
Right.
What is it then with Starfleet personnel and hating checkups? Because this has been a theme since TOS. Kirk hated getting checkups.
Who do you know that likes getting a checkup?
Who likes getting a checkup? Nobody.
But, like, they all seem like
in
there's...
the future, it's just you get the wand whooped over you.
No,
I could do that, and I'm medical.
What's ridiculous,
know he did
though,
the hernia check.
What is ridiculous, like, why are they actually doing a manual hernia check in the fucking...
Well, to see if he actually has testicles. It's
also, what the fuck was that
hospital
hospital gown?
Bajoran, I think.
Ugh, it was awful.
But, like...
I think Dax was wearing it last.
Yeah.
She was, yeah.
But, yeah, so it's like... This weird... There's always at least one character who explicitly is, like, super against it. And it's like... Why? Why is there always at least one person who's, like, such a pain in the ass
Because it's a writing trope.
I guess so.
And is it usually men? Because men...
It's always men.
That is a trope about men, that men don't like going to the doctor.
But it's not even all. Like,
I don't
you know,
like
like...
going to the doctor.
Well, neither do I, but I'm saying that
I haven't been to the doctor in 17 years.
I don't remember the last time I went to the doctor, and I'm not going now.
But in TOS, you know, it was Kirk. Everyone else seemed fine with it. In TNG, I think mostly it was
Picard.
Picard.
There's a lot wrong with me.
Me too. But you know what? If I don't
Riddled
know,
with cancer.
It doesn't count. Listen.
If I don't know, it doesn't count. Hi, Black Cat.
For sure, though.
He comes over and makes a beeline for Chris.
Wait, I hate you. Yeah.
No, it's true.
He does. It's weird. I'm not sure what he wants.
Anyway, I like this one.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
Yeah, I think it's very clever. I loved that when he was listening to the logs, the Kira log was just her yelling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just yelling.
Bitching about the, like, provisional government.
So Kira.
That was good. Forgot about that.
It seemed, though, like his search strategy for finding suspicious logs left much to be desired.
Yeah, let's just listen to literally all of them.
All of them in order, as opposed to, like if I was doing something like that, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to listen to an early one. All right, now I'll listen to a more recent, like a recent one, and then like split the difference.
And maybe start
until
with,
you find the suspicious ones.
Start with like just Sisko, maybe. Throwing that out there.
Who's the most thorough? Dax.
Yeah, but she's just going on about Pylo-Flankton or something.
Yeah, and talking about how Bashir keeps making advances on her.
Yes.
Barf.
Bashir's are just mostly about how badly he wants to pork Dax.
Totally gonna
Is this?
Thank you for that.
Was this the one?
Welcome.
What one?
Did he do anything creepy in this one about Dax? I don't think so.
Well, but everything was from Miles'
He
point of view.
existed.
So we
Yeah,
didn't
no,
get to
so,
see it.
yeah, no.
That's true.
Although he did talk to Miles about his sex life. So
Yes.
that.
Which, like, why, if you suspect he's not him anyway? Like, of all things to bring up, why that?
Just trying to rub it in, really.
So weird.
Let me tell you about my conquests.
Yeah,
just
there
to
was
this
some weird
morning.
thing. Like the way they acted towards him was kind of weird. That one
Julian just doesn't know how to play anything cool, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Aww.
Maybe he's just always wanted to ask Miles about his and Keiko's sex life, but he's never,
Although
had a good reason, and now he's doing it because he knows that, this replicant's going to go away.
He wants to know what Keiko's into so he can go do it for her later.
Maybe also, though, in addition to doing the physical, he was trying to do kind of like a psychological check, too, to be like, are there any tells that this is not real that might give us a clue as to what its mission's going to be? And
Maybe,
what it's gonna do.
Yeah, they don't have an empath on board. That might be useful.
Yeah.
You know empaths aren't useful.
I know a certain empath who isn't useful.
I'm sitting right here.
Cool.
Do we have another episode to talk about?
We do. Paradise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
So in Paradise,
Cheeseburgers in Paradise?
O'Brien and Sisko are...
So much O'Brien.
I know.
The last 3 fucking episodes.
Yeah, way too fucking much O'Brien, to be
they're
honest.
Give me some more Dax.
They're trying to find a location for a possible colony.
Yeah, they want to establish colonies near the wormhole for some reason, even though you have no idea what might be spitting out of it.
It's probably a political move. So like, if they can establish that, this is Federation space.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
they can leave Bajor out of this.
Yeah, it's like China building islands in the South China Sea. You know?
Did they do that?
Because it's disputed waters, but China claims that they're there. So now they think, if we just build artificial islands in the sea.
How big are these islands?
Not big.
Island sized?
Yeah.
Like Greenland?
Not that size. Anyway, so they're out looking for possible planets for a colony, and they find one that looks pretty promising, and then they get there like, there's human life signs.
So promising, there's already fucking people here.
There's human life signs on here. Well, that's weird. I'm not aware of any colonies around here. So they beam down, and as soon as they get down, they realize, all of our electronics stopped working. I can't call the ship. My tricorder don't work. Phaser no good.
Phaser no good.
They get snuck up on by a dude with a bow and arrow and another dude, and they're like, "Who goes there?" And then they turn around, and they're like, "Oh, you're Federation! Oh, it's been so long." So we learn that these people are
look how much the uniforms have changed.
They're members of a colony that, according to them, they were on their way to settle a different place, and then their ship ran into trouble.
Whoops.
They had to land. And when they landed, they also found that all of their technology stopped working, and they've been marooned there for 10 years. But we find out that they have this sort of thriving colony, or it's subsisting. Yeah, it's dumpy.
They have a metal box.
But they're led by this lady who's
fucking crazy bitch.
That's true. Alexis, very pointy chin. Well, on the topic of faces, very pointy chin.
Cool.
Anyway, so Alexis is running the show. At first it seems kind of nice, like she's very welcome. She's like, let's welcome our new friends. And then she's like, well, if you're going to live here with us, even if it's a short time, until your people realize you're gone and come to pick you up, you're going to have to work because that's how we do things here. You got to work in the fields. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll play ball.
No, not play ball, work in the fields.
Yes. So turns out that they got a sick girl. She's got some kind of fever, and Sisko's like, well, if we could, maybe find a way to fix the technology stuff, because it seems like it's some kind of dampening field. We could maybe beam up and get some medical supplies and heal her right away. And Alexis is like, fuck no. No, you can't do that.
Leaves will be fine.
The leaves will do it. We tried to shut off the dampening field. It's impossible. There's shit deposits in the ground.
Yeah, and it's a waste of time. And if you're wasting time, you're not in the fields.
So then, so it's like, okay, that's a little fucking weird. And then, they're working in the fields, and noontime comes, and they let the man out of the tiny box. And
that's what happens at noontime.
And Sisko's like, wait, what the fuck? So they go over, they look, and they're like, okay, can someone just talk about the box and the man that was roasting inside of it? Oh yeah, that's our punishment box. If you've been bad,
I have one of those.
If you've been bad, you go into the box for a day, and you sweat it out.
Where do you pee?
You don't.
All over yourself, man.
You pee on yourself to cool off.
Yikes.
So Alexa's like, no, it's just our way, because, it's so rough.
He'll never do it again, that's for sure.
And look, he's so appreciative of the opportunity to repent. Meanwhile, our heroes think this is crazy. Miles, of course.
Because it fucking is crazy. Like, let's not spare any words. It's fucking insane.
Miles tries to find a way off try to find a way around the dampening field. He gets caught, and Alexis makes Sisko go in the box.
Which you knew he was going in that box as soon as they showed it, right? I mean...
Yes.
Is that a racist thing?
Yes, it's definitely a racist thing.
Cool.
He's working the fields, and he gets punished by being put into a hot box.
Dear God.
Yeah, if the writers weren't aware of what they were doing, holy shit.
No, they were. They definitely were.
They had to have been. I mean, no one's that stupid.
Anyway, back on Deep Space Nine, Kira and Dax are like, they haven't checked in. We better go check it out. They find the runabout just speeding through space.
Yep.
So they have to do like this incredibly dangerous maneuver to tractor beam it at warp.
They had to use some old rope play tricks.
Yeah, so it works. They manage to get it under control, and then they're like, the logs have been deleted. Strange.
It's very strange.
They track it back. It turns out that somebody had tried to like fly it into the sun, but they don't know how gravity works and fucked up. But they track it back to the planet. Meanwhile, O'Brien has managed to deactivate the beam and freeze Sisko from the box. And then he's like, hey, you know what? The beam, the fucking dampening field, it was fucking Alexis all along. She tricked you fucks.
And she's like, guilty.
And they were like, that's cool.
Yeah, and then
Idiots.
And then the one guy that apparently speaks to everyone's like, you know what?
We're gonna
She
stay.
did lie, but this is our life.
We like being
Which, like,
pastoralists.
I gotta say, I call bullshit. That girl that wanted to know what the fashions were like back home was definitely fucking going with.
Oh, is that the same girl that really, really was gonna plow Sisko because she was told to?
Yeah, she was the
Probably,
Cassandra.
the sex
Maybe
slave.
she's a little too,
these
what do you
people
call that?
clearly...
Subservient?
No, but when you're, easily led to a conclusion.
This is like some fucking
Caitlin?
David Koresh shit on this
I
planet,
love you.
you know? Like,
What kind
Charles
of shit, Jacob?
Manson family. I'm gonna go Manson family on
super
this.
cultish.
Yeah, but even they, I think...
I mean, the
Manson
Manson family is actually pretty apropos because, like, their whole thing, I mean, aside from the helter-skelter race war, was fucking... like returning to the land and working on farms and,
but he didn't,
and sexual slavery, which is apparently Alexis.
Well, it wasn't slavery. They were totally into it.
Well,
they
so
really
is-
enjoyed passing
well, so-
gonorrhea around to each other,
so
or
was
chlamydia,
the
or whatever.
lady that was going to service Sisko, you know?
Yeah, I guess it's
Yikes.
all brainwashing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that
Fine, I accept your terms.
the society was based on the anti-technology aspirations of the Khmer Rouge in Cambodia. And then I watched a video about the Khmer
Do
Rouge.
not watch a video of the Khmer Rouge.
Oh dear God, it's
horrible.
So
They're
bad.
Possibly the worst people
Holy
ever.
God, I never learned about them before, and it's so devastating.
Yeah, the fucked up shit they pulled.
Really bad. Like oh yeah, they were anti-technology because they wanted everybody to be the fucking same. And then I watched this video, like, no, they wanted a whole lot more than that. They just killed everyone.
Oh no.
Horribly.
Yep. So,
Let them rot in fields.
one of my
That's
early
fucked
notes
up.
on this episode. Man, they're gonna turn out to be all culty at some point, ain't they?
Oh, there was something wrong with them from the instant
I was
you
gonna say,
saw them.
at some point...
But, like, before they made it explicit, it's like, oh yeah, no, fucking Robin Hood is here with his bow and arrow.
I mean, the moment you see what's her name? Alexis. My first note was definitely evil. Definitely the evil.
She was
It was the
transparently the worst.
The chin?
It was the chin.
The pointy-ass
Gave
chin?
it away.
She does have a pointy chin.
Also, a thing we learned from this episode, soccer is still a thing.
Yep.
Footy.
Don't know how.
I mean, soccer's got a decent backing, and soccer's also very easy to play because all you need is a ball.
True. It's just funny because, like,
And feet.
up until now, it seems like...
Don't tell the box on wheels race about soccer.
I don't know what this
I don't know what that
is.
is either. But
Oh, that was a reference. I think we talked about it in Measure of a Man. When it was, is Data any more human than a box on wheels? And I said, don't you make fun of the box on wheels race?
Yep. But, I know, just...
Call back!
Because up until now, though, they like it's always like you've got weird future sports, and like all we know of all other old sports is like no one really remembers baseball except Sisko
Stubbs.
and that Stubbs fella.
Stubbs was so into it.
So it was just kind of weird to find out, like, oh, this sport you've heard of, that does still exist.
Yeah, they should have just made it Parisi squares or something we've
I mean, I can also assume that soccer has probably evolved a bit.
Yeah, but I found it a little distracting. I was like, whoa, back the fuck up. They still have soccer?
No, it's actually Rocket League, and that's what they call soccer now.
I'm down with that.
Except they
That's
do
a
it
good
with actual spaceships.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. Yes, I would watch that, unlike real soccer, which is boring.
And every time someone fucks up, people still shoot nice shot or whatever the fucking thing
Indoor
is.
soccer is very exciting.
Notes.
Indoor soccer is practically hockey without the ice.
Okay.
Because it's a very, very small rink.
And I should
beat the shit out
clarify.
of each other?
I have, yes. I used to play. It was great.
Oh. I should clarify to our listeners, by the way, I'm not just being your typical American, like, soccer's boring. I find pretty much 99% of sports boring.
Soccer's more exciting than baseball.
That's a
No,
Only
low
just.
bar.
But yes.
You know what's okay? Quick rant about soccer, and then we'll continue in the episode. But
Great,
here's
good.
the thing about
I'm
soccer.
glad we're getting this in.
The thing about soccer, it fucking sucks because nobody knows how long the fucking game is.
90 minutes.
No, it's not! Because it's fucking stoppage time! You get to 90 minutes, and the clock keeps fucking going. And then the fucking referee just ends it whenever the fuck he wants!
Yeah,
There's no one keeping time.
No,
There's
there's no way that is.
The
that
ref
is rife
just decides.
for
If his team is behind a little bit, but he
corruption.
thinks, well, maybe they'll get a goal. You know what? I think we stop for, 5 minutes-ish. Fucking stoppage time is the stupidest fucking thing in the fucking planet. What the fuck? What the fuck? If it's gonna be a 90-minute game, okay. When the ball's not moving, when the ball's not in play, you stop the fucking clock! It's stoppage time! You stop the time when you need to stop it. You don't just fucking add it later and just guess. Fuck soccer!
I will say, though, given my druthers, if I could only get rid of one sport, it would totally be golf. Golf is just horrible.
Golf is the worst.
Golf.
It's for terrible rich people. Who
Yeah, but at
deserve
least a
nothing.
round of golf is 18 fucking holes. It's not like...
Yeah, but it's...
But you don't know how long it's going to last.
But the object of golf is not golf's not a timed game. It's a number of shots.
Yeah, but you don't know if you say like, "Oh, I'm going to go play
strokes.
golf," and they say, "Oh, how long are you going to be?" I don't know.
Fucking day.
As long as it takes, depends on where my
The
ball
point
lands.
of time. Well, that's the thing. The point of timing a sport is not to know how long you're going to have to watch for. If that was the case, then football and baseball would be gone because
They always run over.
Football being a 60-minute game is like a 4-hour commitment. Baseball, I guess, isn't timed at all because it's all just based on innings. But at least with innings, it's not like, okay, I think we're going to go for 3 extra innings. Why not? You play until somebody fucking wins. Soccer, it ends when the ref wants, and even if it's a fucking tie, because who gives a fuck? And, yeah.
I will say the penalty kicks in soccer are heavily weighted against the goalies, which sucks.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, too. The goal is so fucking big.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous.
You'd think it would be a higher scoring game.
The field is too fucking big.
That's the problem. That's my
There's
problem.
too few people on the field for the size of the fucking field.
And they don't allow enough substitutions.
Yeah, and
So you have to conserve your energy for the whole 90 minutes.
At least 90 minutes, really.
The only...
Now, when I played, because I used to play, in high school, it's a smaller field, and they allow unlimited substitutions. So you can, like, run your fucking ass off until you're exhausted and make the game exciting, and then you get subbed out to catch your fucking breath.
The only truly great sport is Australian football.
What about rugby?
No, it's better than rugby.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Have you seen it?
No. Still not
Great.
better than rugby.
I have. Australia... Yeah, we're already way off topic,
We're
but...
so off.
Australian football is the weird bastard child of rugby, American football, and basketball.
Curling.
And it's fucking bonkers. And I love it. Anyway, Star Trek.
What's the deal with the fucking shot clock, too? Speaking of basketball.
Oh, dear God. Can we talk
Anyway.
Okay. What else do I have in this thing? Here's a note I wrote. No doors means more wangs. Done.
Oh, yeah. Alexis doesn't believe in doors. Dictators don't believe in privacy.
Mm-hmm. More wangs.
God, she was so awful. I hated her so much. I am like...
But it was
Who's
so
worse,
great.
her-
She was
her
such
or
a great
Win?
villain, though.
Oh, she was. Her or who?
Her or Win?
Definitely her, in my opinion.
I mean, we haven't seen Win at her fullest strength.
That's true.
I'm looking very
We've seen
Fletcher
Win the early years.
Ooh.
Like you go to Germany in 1932, and you're like, well, Hitler kind of sucks, but you know.
Whoa.
That's a fucking hot take.
At least Win isn't fucking her son.
Do you think
Excuse
that was
me?
the implication?
Not through the whole episode, but at the very end, when like the game has been rumbled, he suddenly like gets his weird dopey smile on that he's not worn in the whole episode, and they're holding hands. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on.
Gross.
I did not read that at all, and I'm not going to.
I also didn't, and I liked it better that way.
I also, let me say, Sisko, fucking badass. You know, she's like, just change your clothes, you can drink the water. And she leaves him alone. He could have drank the water anyway.
I know, I would have drank that
water.
But
he didn't. And then he put himself back in the box. Because fuck you.
You know,
it
reminded me...
I would have thrown the water. Actually, I'm surprised he didn't throw the water in her face.
Yeah. I did half expect him to come out with it and just like pour it out or something.
That would have been like there
were definitely echoes of like the most toys and Chain of Command with the defiance aspect.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm not going to give you the pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, it reminded me an awful lot of This Side of Paradise with the jizz flowers and Kirk being like, "No, I'm not giving into this. I'm going to have my pain."
Yeah. Although at least there, no one was in a horrible torture box. They were all just brainwashed by jizz flowers.
And then I also wrote the ending was a little bit ambergris element in that it's I guess you could stay here or you could leave. Like, you know, when they told the children in fucking Water Planet, you can stay underwater or you can go on land. And then the very last shot of this episode is the two children looking like, maybe we want to leave, though.
This place sucks.
Yeah, I don't see why, like, this is one of those things where it's like, okay, these people... were brainwashed in this weird fucking comedy. Lied to, brainwashed, and tortured.
Yeah. I'm sure Alexis never went in that box.
Oh, no, not once.
I'm sure her son never went in the box either.
Yeah.
Every week, Steven's in the box once a week.
Yeah, I like how she's like, you know, they're all my friends here, and, you know, Steven, he would have been in fucking jail because he's a fucking candle thief, the bitch.
Yeah, no, my headcanon is definitely that, like, Sisko went home, immediately called up Starfleet Command, and was like, you people are sending in the biggest SWAT team you have to rescue and deprogram those people.
They need, like, fucking severe psychological... They need to call them the big guns. They need Deanna Troi.
I was going to say. They need the best empath you've got. Is Deanna available?
Yeah. Well, the only empath you've got, then.
But it's hard, right? Because they are...
There's the guy that's living on Tin Man.
They are... You know, aside from the children, they are adults.
Yeah.
So they can make their own decisions about their life, I guess. But at the same time...
Well, except they've been, like, obviously robbed of that ability.
Yeah, they've been manipulated. Like, there's... I wonder what the... You know, what is the responsibility of, you know, a government? Are they even in the Federation? I don't know. Like, are they out of Federation control?
I mean, they're trying...
Wasn't the suggestion that they were part of... Weren't they actually Starfleet?
Well, they were.
He recognized
they were Federation.
Uniforms.
Their ship was definitely a Federation.
How does the Prime Directive come into play?
Why is a Raven
Here's the thing.
like a Raven?
They want to establish colonies in this general area. Prime Directive's out the window. And if they decide they want this planet, because it seems pretty fertile, they're going to be like, hi, we're Starfleet. You can stay, but there's going to be thousands of more people coming. And this little dampening field of yours...
Also, your technology's going to work again.
Yeah.
You know,
Good God.
If they want to get rid of the people, all they have to do is give the planet to the Cardassians in a treaty. And then send Picard.
But not Wesley. Wesley will rumble it.
Yeah, he'll ruin
No, the
everything.
whole time, like, at the beginning of this episode, like, the thing that I started thinking of, like, dear God, if suddenly technology stopped working, like, you know, I know there's lots of, like, Armageddon-style movies, and, like, what show did we used to watch? Revolution? Terrible show. Well, like, if technology stopped working... we would not survive.
Oh, I'd be one of the first people dead.
I would not survive.
And they fucking...
I can't farm.
Not only did they survive, they were defeated, what did she say, like 18 different viruses?
I mean, a lot of people died first.
Well, yeah, but if someone came to me and was like, hey, Ames has this really horrible disease.
Put some
Think
leaves
you can
on
fix
it.
I'd be like, I fucking don't know, dude. She's gonna die. What the fuck do I know about plants?
Damn it, Caitlin, save me.
Here's some lettuce poultice for
Here's
you.
my plan.
Hope
It's
that
like,
helps.
all right, isn't penicillin derived from mold? Let's let some bread mold over, and then we'll feed her the mold.
And then she dies even faster.
Well, I like how they do establish that Alexis is like a
cunt. Sorry, I meant.
No, I mean, I got no other word.
I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm not cutting that. Fuck her.
But no, they established that she's got this library of Kaczynski-esque manifestos about
psycho.
Yeah, like
she just left in their rooms.
Yeah,
have you read this, Miles?
Like
no.
That's some serious fucking cult leadership.
I don't know how to read.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah,
man.
No.
So like. It's shocking to me that they just
Question.
leave.
Answer.
How long were Sisko and O'Brien there?
A couple days.
Yeah,
Because Alexis expected them to adapt to their society in
right away,
an afternoon.
Even though she claimed she was going to give them time, like she did not.
I also don't
take your uniform off. Damn it!
Yeah, but I think she was more just pissed that they were questioning her authority at all.
Yeah.
Well, they just got there. Of course, they're going to question her authority.
Yeah, but she's the fucking supreme leader.
Yeah, but not
you
to
can't
them.
question the supreme leader. I know,
can.
so that's why she takes it out on them.
Yeah.
O'Brien again. I made a note, and then O'Brien actually said it.
You're basically O'Brien.
I think, yeah, and that's fine. He's a good man mostly. But I was like, got him out of his uniform after all. Oh, okay. All right then. Fine.
Well, all right.
But when O'Brien left it as a trap in the garden?
Yeah, because then he does actually say, looks like your mother got one of us out of her uniform after all.
But then we had to see him in his boxer shorts and...
I like how... So, O'Brien's fucking able to...
Oh, when he fucking...
knock somebody out with,
quote-unquote painlessly.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if later Joe's like, I did actually kind of shush. And then he fucking made, a weird compass / tricorder out of, a gourd, some water, and a fucking rock.
Yeah.
This just makes me think that Alexis's husband was not very good at engineering, because it took Colm Meaney 2 days to figure this shit out, and allegedly the husband was...
Joseph wasn't her husband.
Yeah.
He wasn't?
No.
He was just...
Oh, well, she fucking made him her bitch so much.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but
That's
he was
true.
the mechanic on the ship.
Oh, I thought
he
that they
was
were
the
married.
engineer.
Nope.
Well...
Yeah, that's the thing. She said he was one of the last holdouts, or he said he was one of the last holdouts to her
fucking
philosophy.
Bet she was.
Because,
Betty fucking was.
Which is interesting that, it just irritated me so much that as soon as, he spoke and was like, yeah, no, we want to stay. And it's like, well,
don't speak for everyone.
Maybe you should have a fucking town meeting or something.
Some people should leave.
Yeah.
Most of you should leave.
Insects on this planet that if they bite you, you'll get a fucking fever and die.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of just feel like, I wonder if just having Alexis and maybe her son gone will be enough to, throw the equilibrium off and they all fucking die anyway. Because I'm sure Alexis wasn't doing shit in the field, but I suspect maybe her son was doing his part. And so is that one person less enough to make a difference? Are they just totally fucked now because it's all been thrown off?
I feel like the son was the fucking muscle.
Yeah.
He had his bow.
He was normally the watchman.
Yeah, but maybe he was catching, maybe there's a meat supply and he was the meat supply. But anyway.
He was the meat supply.
But maybe he was, catching meat.
Wow.
Clearly he was the meat supply. We saw how they were holding hands at the end. But I'm just saying, if he was contributing in any way, in any, substantial way to their community, that could be enough, Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying, I worry.
Community once more.
Yeah, she was a complete douchebag.
Because that is a word that is often weaponized in even the real world. It's it's for the community. Fuck, the community can go fuck itself.
Yeah, I mean, this is the fucking dark side of the space hippies, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
Herbert.
Yeah.
That bitch was a Herbert.
What a great fucking insult. Oh,
so at the opening,
Jonestown.
We had a little bit of O'Brien's background. He apparently
was a shitty mechanic.
He was a third in mechanical aptitude until he had to jury rig a transporter
in less than 10 minutes.
And then suddenly it just all kind of fell into place.
Yeah, I like that little bit of backstory though, because it does, and now it's finally explained why he went from being a cannon fodder on set 3 to being a chief engineer, an NCO.
Yeah,
we get through transporter chief first though.
We can kind of understand how he impressed Captain what's his name so much.
Maxwell.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, that guy was a fucking Fruit Loop anyway.
Well, yeah,
he was
but I mean,
right. We found,
yeah,
it's heavily implied he was correct.
His methods were just incredibly wrong.
Team Cardassia. Through and through.
But yeah, and I thought that was fine. I liked the very brief moment of O'Brien and Sisko sort of dadding together. Because they are both fathers, but I don't feel like at this point they've played into that as much.
That's true.
Yeah,
like
we only ever see Sisko being a dad, to be fair.
Yeah, we don't, I forget that Miles has a kid.
But I mean, like, even just them talking about it, like, it's like, oh yeah, you're both family men. I kind of forget that sometimes. For obvious reason. Because they don't have, like, they don't do O'Brien's family a lot unless it's to show that his day's gone weird.
Yeah, or to show his wife eating food with him once in a while.
I like that it's implied.
Telling him
Sisko
she's not interested in sex.
That, like, oh yeah, we gotta get Jake ready for the academy, and I'm like, Jake's not going to fucking academy. He's a fucking dipshit.
Why do you say that?
Well, no,
getting tutoring from the pack lads.
Well, no, but the thing is that we did find out, of course, that the thing about his grades being bad
that was bullshit. It
was a lie.
Or he just doesn't know how bad his grades are.
That's what I'm thinking. F is for fantastic.
But yeah, he's third in mechanical aptitude. It just means he's not going to be an engineer, which is, fine. But yeah, that's the thing.
He wasn't third. He was in the lowest, the 33rd percentile.
Yeah, they refer to it as the third something in mechanical aptitude. I couldn't remember the something. So yeah, third tier or whatever.
I thought I said he was in the bottom third.
Is that what? Yeah. Either way, yeah. He was supposed to be bad.
He's like the oldest kid in those classes, though. Is the problem?
Yeah, but clearly he's just not into fucking engineering, and that's fine. Math sucks.
Well, you're not
wrong.
In
the future. In the future,
especially in the future.
Fucking super genius.
I know, it's tedious.
Yeah, that's the thing. It must suck to live in the future because math and science and all that shit must be so much more important. Like that's just.
But the computer can do most of it for you.
But I actually, I didn't mean that Jake's a dipshit, even though that's literally what I said. But what I really meant is
when I said Jake was a dipshit, what I really meant was I like that he's shown as being a normal kid and not a fucking super genius.
Yeah, no, he's a person.
We all like
nice.
that.
I
mean,
he's not.
I think I don't want to speak.
He's not the kind of person that's going to be good in mechanical shit because he's got other interests like getting laid.
By fucking Dabo
girls.
Well, no, he was teaching her about bugs. Maybe he's interested in bugs.
Entomology? You gonna eat some? Cute. That was cute.
Also, I had talked about this last week, but I think I maybe was supposed to talk about it this week in my notes. They do make it a little more explicit. Where
who farts in the shower?
Yes. No, but Sisko mentions his father was a chef. So.
Oh, he also makes references to brothers.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that ever comes up.
Neither do I.
How many fathers does Sisko have?
That's true.
That's fair.
Oh, that's interesting. No, I don't even thinking that. I'm thinking of like being able to do a total pregnancy thing or a total making a baby thing with just dudes.
Just dudes?
Because they totally could, right? I mean, you just... Yeah. It's just 50% from everybody. Yeah, doesn't have to be a sperm and egg.
In the mid-90s.
Yeah, they weren't.
There's no two dads.
Yeah, no. Rick Berman.
Well, I don't know. Ames was the one who asked how many dads he had.
Well, I know. I mean, it's a good question.
It is.
And I bet you,
better Star Trek would address that. But this is Rick Berman's Star Trek.
But I don't see Rick Berman's Star Trek having
Rick,
yeah, it's an element of The Expanse that I really like. Because there's a character who comes from, I want to say it's a poly family, but it might just kind of be like a communal family.
I think it's a communal family. That's what I was thinking of when you said how many dads. I was like, oh, maybe it's like a community.
Yeah.
I thought you meant literally.
So
I could mean that too, though. That's good.
Another
That's an interesting topic.
They really should have shown like the orgies.
No.
Yes.
Or let us know how hot they are.
Whose orgies?
The orgies are extremely hot.
The orgies on
Paradise Planet?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I don't know. The sun had what, that meat pack? No, what did we just say it was?
Oh God, I don't know.
He was the meat supply.
Meat supply.
There's actually, I'll try to remember to post this picture.
Where are we going with this?
There's this extra during the scene where Alexis is basically admitting, you've got me, I was guilty, I did all of it.
Oh, the fuck guy?
His look is wonderful.
Yeah, there's this one guy, everyone else is like, but there's one guy who's just like, what? Fucking aghast. And if anyone wasn't staying on the planet after that, it was that motherfucker. When they were directing the episode, the director missed that this one person was really selling how fucking... And don't get me wrong, that is totally the right expression.
Yeah.
The fact that people didn't just immediately jump on her and beat her to death is impressive.
You gotta imagine that... yeah, sure, these people are living their life, but they must have had families that think they're dead.
Yeah.
One of them has serious concerns about the fucking fashion of the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way she's staying on that planet.
No.
She's like, bye.
I have remade this same dress 15 times over.
I've got clothes
but here's
to
the
buy,
thing now.
bitch.
Now they can't, like, unless the Federation comes back, like their ship, they talk about how they dismantled and threw out all the
Where?
ship
They don't
parts.
have a junkyard.
Yeah, it's all just in a pile in the backyard.
I assume a lot of
like, yeah, we threw it out. It's fine.
A lot of it probably got just repurposed into hose and shit.
Hose?
Like the woman that came to Sisko.
That scene was so good. Did she send you to make love to me? I was like, oh, Sisko.
I love
Take
though.
the compliment, dude.
Well, that's the thing. At first, I was like, "Why are you turning this down?" Oh, yeah, you're right. I get it.
Did we say it's very bread and circuses?
No, but you're right.
Wait, what happened in Bread and Circuses? There's a lot of hoery?
They tried to like.
They tried to sweet talk Kirk by sending him a woman, and he totally banged her.
I mean,
it was weird because she was a slave.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
yuck.
pulled that in the Storyteller too. With the
That's
That's
true.
right, they tried
but
to
they
send-
seemed into it.
Yeah.
No, Julian was into it. O'Brien was like, I'm fucking married. So, another thing from Sisko that I loved, his delivery on his line, it was during that scene where he was like calling her out on having sent this woman to him. And he just finds like, I fucking hate your guts. Like, damn straight you do. But he says, perhaps one day you'll even feel the hand of God on your shoulder. And like, he delivers it so well. And he gives God that little extra like, oomph. And he's like, that's a good delivery. Like, I'm not even going to try to do it because it was just too good and I'd fuck it up. But
I liked it.
yeah.
It was like half threat, half promise, half...
P.S. by hand of God, I mean, I am going to destroy
Yeah, it's
you.
gonna be me. It's
I
that
am
song.
the
It's
hand
that.
of
It's that
God.
song by John Legend.
When
I'm not
was,
afraid to do the Lord's
Waco?
work.
Yeah. Waco, 92, 93?
So this is proximate.
Oh shit! Yeah. Well, you mentioned is Jonestown Waco?
No.
Jonestown's different. That's earlier.
We've discussed all the different cults before.
Yeah, 93. So it's a year.
Wow.
Seriously,
A year after Waco.
we should probably be doing a true crime podcast with the way we talk about cults.
We could do a cult podcast.
It's too much
fascinating.
work.
It's a fascinating topic.
It's fascinating. We do a lot of research.
And
We just
we're
watch
also very
television.
ill-informed.
I researched
so...
barely.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I watched a stupid movie this
we
week.
all have to, and we're
Dude,
lazy.
I'll be real. If we did a show just on cults, I would absolutely do the
The
research.
thing that's interesting about Waco is like
That's where the big money is this true crime shit. Sorry, Jake.
if they really want to do a Waco story, they would have had the Federation storm the thing, right? Because that was what happened.
Yeah.
There would have been Kool-Aid.
No,
that's
Jonestown.
Jonestown.
Son
Jonestown
of
is
a
Kool-Aid is
bitch.
Jonestown. Waco. The story was less about the religious stuff, like the cult, and more about how they were stockpiling weapons, and the ATF stormed and burnt down
Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms.
It's the police, federal
What a
police.
weird lump of things to
Yes.
get together. What is it? Alcohol, tobacco,
and firearms.
So like everything that people in Congress are getting like throwbacks from, basically, probably.
Yeah.
but they're supposed to like regulate like guns and shit like that.
And their response was
Disproportionate.
yes.
They bombed, burnt, and stormed the compound, killing a shitload of people.
You gotta say this wasn't just like a bunch of hardcore cultists. This was their possibly unwilling spouses and definitely unwilling children.
Or at least not old enough to make a choice.
But
children.
here's the thing: the biggest fucking fallout, I believe, from Waco is that it fucking gave ammunition, so to speak, to the fucking right-wing gun nuts.
Yeah.
Because it was basically like, look,
Oh, see, the government will come and
if
take
you have your
guns.
guns, the government's gonna fucking bomb your compound and burn you out and kill you.
Good. Then maybe give back your guns and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's
you're
not
right.
the point.
Son
But
of a
it's
bitch.
like
So all this time I thought Waco was Jonestown, and it is totally different.
Yeah,
Jonestown
completely
was
different
Jim
thing.
Jones. He was like a fucking psycho rape guy who brought his followers to South America and had a compound. And when it became, and then a U.S. congressman like was alerted to the fact that there was like sexual slavery and all kinds of fucked up shit at this religious compound. So he flew there, and then when he tried to leave, they shot him shot his plane up, killed him.
Jesus.
And then Jim Jones is like, well, fuck, we shot a U.S. congressman. So, all right, everybody. Well, our next sacrament is going to be to drink the suicide juice. And like a fuck ton of people died.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. Heaven's Gate.
Yes, Heaven's Gate I've definitely heard about.
That was a few years after this episode, I believe. That was like 97.
So yeah, that was later. Nichelle Nichols' brother, sadly, was a member.
The ladies on My Favorite Murder did a thing about Heaven's Gate.
I think I've already talked about Heaven's Gate before and how they left one guy.
Right, because these are the...
Or was it
to
two?
like keep the
website
going.
These were the Halley's Comet people, right?
Hale-Bopp.
Hale-Bopp Comet, yeah. We should wrap this up.
Yeah, we've gone on to real world cults. This woman was a psycho. I hope she goes to space prison forever. She
goes in her own metal box.
Yes, and I hope that the Federation sends help for those poor people.
Those poor people. All right. Speaking of poor people, our audience, am I right?
Oh,
and also us. Thank you for listening to episode 162 of A Star to Steer Her By. Next week, we're going to take a deep dive into a couple more episodes of Deep Space Yuck, 9, Shadow Play, and speaking of weird culty shit, Playing God.
A lot of play. A lot of play next week.
As long as there's no pony play, because that weirds me out.
Did I write?
You
Wait,
did.
Was that for this podcast?
No, that was for Fox's.
Was it for Fox's? I once wrote a pony play.
What's a pony play?
Pony play is a kink where it's like a dom sub relationship where one of you is literally got like a bridle in your mouth and acting like a horsey, and the other person has a crop. I actually once upon a time saw some pony play stuff happening where this person
Live?
who was
that was the most dead yes I've ever heard.
well, it was the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
Speaking of which, how does a pony shit?
I don't know.
Like a horse? Where they stand?
Okay, so literally, I don't have any idea. I hope not.
Ames, your face right there was kind of like that extra's face.
So it was a
alienating
person.
so many of our audience right now.
It was a person.
Wait a minute, you've been taking down the technology all this time?
It was a person with a bridle and reins and the whole 9 yards, and they were pulling their person along in a little one-person carriage.
Oh, that's fun.
It was very nice. It was very elegant. I've never seen. Never seen anything like it. It was very,
very strange.
But listen,
this has been A Star to Steer Her By.
There's an adult baby thing too, right? That's a real thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yep. We'll talk about that when you're older.
Wow.
Anyway.
So glad to be so vanilla.
Well, I mean, it's not my thing. I just know.
I like good old-fashioned penetration.
P and V. That's what we call that.
P to V.
P and V.
This has been A Star to Steer Her By.
You keep trying, Chris. It keeps not working.
If you like what you heard...
Fistin'!
I was going to say, if you like what you heard about pony play and you want to hear more... No, but seriously, Star Trek, definitely not weird, kinky shit. If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, you can find us wherever fine podcasts are sold. We're on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, not Pony Play, and of course, Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Facebook by searching A Star to Steer Her By, or fucking rude, what are we, keeping you up?
Sorry. I ate way too much sushi today. I'm still recovering.
You can find us, we are SSHB Podcast on Tumblr and Twitter. And if you go to sshbpodcast.com, you'll find our home on the web, which is just our Tumblr.
And maybe Caitlin will write up those
some
James Joycean notes she's been promising
some letters from O'Brien to Keiko. And in the meantime, I have been Caitlin.
I've been Jake. This has been Chris.
And this is always Ames.
One of the higher up rules of acquisition is what was it?
Know your clients.
Yeah.
Before they walk in the door.
Yes.
And give them presents.
Which rule of acquisition is that? I don't know. One of the higher
191 or something.
Yeah.
Love you.
Unlike Quark to not know. Anyway,
I think that they were trying to make you think
he was a replicant.
He just made it up. I
Till
think they're
next
all
time.
just made up.
Or maybe he just he makes up the rules. Yeah.